Hello YouTube, this is Dutch Bushcraft Knives and this is my best friend Mickey.
Hello, this is my best friend Martin. You're also my best friend, yeah?
And in this video we're going to talk about, or we're going to help you, hopefully, to choose the knife that fits you.
Yeah.
And for this we're going to talk a little bit about things you have to consider before buying a knife, and then we're going to choose some knives for every kind of budget that will help you decide, hopefully, to choose your perfect knife.
First of all, let me just tell you something very important. Before you buy a knife, first of all, you want to know what you're going to use your knife for, the purpose of the knife. Yeah? And I think you should have a good idea of how much you want to spend on this knife. So what we're going to do, we're going to start at the low budget knives, like the lower price knives, and then crank up the price a little, and then see what for us is the best choice for the price. So let's start at the lowest price.
Yeah. So at the low price range, I expect that it will be your first knife, and I would highly recommend a knife like the Mora knife. This is the Mora Companion. It comes in different colors, and it's just an excellent knife to start learning about knives and getting a feeling about what purpose a knife has for you and what you like about knives, it's just going to define the use that you personally have with a knife.
Yeah, and I mean the steel is 12C27, which is
very decent steel.
Very, very decent. I mean, it's used in a lot of Helle knives, which is I mean, in the price range, it's a lot higher than a Mora, of course. It is quite thin, but you can do everything, which you can, or almost everything you can, with like a normal bushcraft knife, which is a much higher price. And you can also experiment with it because it's very cheap.
Yeah. So a thing to consider before you buy a Mora knife is you're going to be disappointed with a Mora knife if you want to do a lot of batoning and stuff like that with your knives. But if you're just starting to do bushcraft or something like that, and you just want to carve some stuff, you want to use your knife to prep food with, and stuff like that, the Mora is just a very, very excellent knife for 10 euros. And it's also a very nice knife to start how to learn how to sharpen, because you can't really ruin a $10 knife. Or you can ruin it, of course, but it just doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and then I would I wouldn't really mind if it's 12C27 or the high carbon version, but if you would crank up the price a little bit,
so this is under 20 euros.
Under 20 euros. So if we go around 50 euros, or a little bit under, a little bit more, I would still say Mora.
Mora, yes.
But you've got more models of a Mora.
What this actually is this one is in high carbon. I think it's SK5. I don't really know. And this is also 12C27. So you're not going to make a huge performance bump in edge retention and stuff like that. But these knives are a bit thicker and have excellent handle geometry. So this just has a little bit more premium feel to a very cheap knife.
Yeah, and make no mistake, the Moras are. Please don't underestimate the Mora, because they are still one of my go-to knives if I want to do some stuff. Like if I just go outside and I need a knife, I would just often grab my Mora just
a very good tool for around the garden, around the shed. And I think these Moras are a bit thicker than the Mora Companions, so you can actually do a little bit of batoning with this. You can, around the camp, you can baton some little firewoods with it. I'm just not gonna do the fist thick.
And I would never be afraid that this Mora would break.
No, not really, no.
And it can strike a fire steel or whatever. Okay, but then we crank it up a little more, around about 100 euros.
About 100 euros.
About 100 euros.
Let me take a look at my knife collection, because that's a kind of awkward price range. I think 100 euros.
100 euros, more or less 100 euros.
Alrighty. So, my picks for the knives around 100 euros are these Enzo Trappers. The Enzo Trapper in Elmex is a little bit more expensive, but these Enzos you can buy a kit of, and then the kit is around 100 euros. It might be a little bit over 100 euros, but in my opinion, these are full tang.
Where's your Elmex?
The Elmex is too expensive
Oh,
to put on this list.
okay.
But these knives, they have that semi-custom feel to it. They are full tang. You can choose different steels, which steel you like. So I think in this price range, it is. You have to think about what kind of steel do I want.
And Mora has an excellent heat treat.
Mora?
Excellent. Sorry, the Enzo has an excellent heat treat. Mora as well, of course, but the Enzo has excellent. So I very much trust them for whichever steel they use. For them to have a very good heat treat. But also, if you want to stay at Mora, I don't know how good this knife is yet because I haven't really tested it out. Very curious. For me, at this moment in time, if we have made a video ready, I will click my hand, click the knife to to go to the video. But even you can also stay at Mora if you really like Mora. And this is a knife from about €100. Also very cool to check it out.
And full tang.
A full time and 14C28.
Yep.
I believe. So a bit. It's also upgraded.
So to actually, the things you have to think about is for picking a knife in this price range is: do you want a wooden handle? Do you want a synthetic handle or a semi-synthetic? This is not really synthetic, but yeah, I think wood is very suitable if you're just gonna use it for bushcraft, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do some rough use with it, I would personally always go for a micarta or a synthetic handle because it's just a lot more sturdy.
And it can do everything the wood can. You haven't got any downsides compared to the wood.
It's just about aesthetics.
Completely about aesthetics. So yeah, and if you go for wood, be very picky about what kind of wood you choose because you've got soft wood, hard wood. Hard wood might crack a little bit more, but
the soft wood will take on dirt a lot more easy. So if you're gonna pick a very dense wood, it will stay much more clean.
Yeah.
And the synthetic handles, they're excellent for survival. And then besides the handle, you have to look at the steel. So this Enzo comes in a lot of steels, and you want to pick if you want to go for stainless or not stainless. In most cases, the non-stainless blades are a little bit more easy to sharpen, like the O1. But if you're living in a humid environment like we do, I would personally always suggest to go for stainless.
If you're gonna check out an Enzo, I would certainly have a look at the N690CO or the S30V version.
Yeah.
But that's not all the Enzos we've got in stock.
We are very excited about O1 and its performance, but it's just so easy to get rust on this knife.
Yeah, it rusts very fast. But please don't underestimate Enzo as well, because my Enzo Trapper is still one of my favorite knives.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not that from now on. It's not that the higher the price, the better the knife per se.
No.
It's just it's preference as well.
Only downside on Enzo, in my opinion, is the handle geometry could be a little bit better. But you have for around €100, you have this kind of semi-custom feel that you have with these Bark River knives, which are much more expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's crank up the price a little bit.
How much?
To about €150. Alright.
Is deze over 150?
This one's 60.
Shit!
Alright, €150, here we come.
I've got one knife. But one of my favorite knives.
We both have it. So I'll put mine on the table, you can talk about yours.
This, it's the Volknieven F1, the VG10 version. It was my first knife, the first model. I was prepared to spend a little bit more on my knife because I wanted, I don't know, back then I just saw a lot of good reviews on the F1. I thought that's the knife I'm gonna buy. I think the Swedish Air Force uses this knife. I love VG10.
Very balanced steel.
And it's all about the balance, people. I think everything in life is about balance, and especially with steels. It's laminated, will never break on you, and I really trust this knife. It doesn't keep the best edge. For instance, you drop back down a little bit more. S30V, in my opinion, holds a better edge than the VG10, but I like the geometry.
VG10,
Even
very
like
easy
the
to
smell.
sharpen. Very easy to sharpen.
Very easy.
Takes a good edge. It is stainless. I think this knife would overall make a very decent survival knife.
And convex.
Yeah, and
Let's-
convex.
Let's not. This is convex, and I think convex is
Another
very-
thing you have to be aware of before you buy a knife: do you want a Scandi knife or do you want a convex knife? In general, people underestimate how easy it is to sharpen a convex.
Yeah.
It's always like, but how do I sharpen a convex? It's just about loosening up your wrists while sharpening on the stone, and you will actually create a convex. So it's really, really easy. You don't need sandpaper and a mouse mat for that. Just loosen up your wrists a little bit and sharpen it.
Yeah.
Go
yeah.
with the flow.
No, that's exactly what it is. And what else have you got?
Well, in the €150 price range, you do get some of the super steels,
Yeah.
as they call it. And we have another Enzo, because Enzo has a lot of different steels, and this is an Elmax.
Clean it up very nicely. I see.
Yeah, it's very clean. But Elmax, I bought the kit, which was around €125, so still very
Oh.
affordable.
It's kind of in the €100 price range. a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
in between. But if you want to buy this knife as a whole without the kit, it will be more towards the €150.
Okay, okay.
But overall, Elmax is one of the most high-end steels in production knives at this moment, and yeah, in this very nice looking Enzo knife is just an amazing stainless steel.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, I want to say something. I want to add something to the whole Enzo story. Is that I think it's very, very great what they do. Is that they offer you the knife as a kit, or they can offer you the knife for a little bit cheaper, and then you with all the materials, and then you can finish it off yourself. And I think
Yeah.
that's very nice of them.
Yeah,
Very smart.
that's what they call the kit, the knife making kit.
Yeah.
But and to come back on the convex or Scandi, it's not that convex or Scandi is better than the other. It's just a personal preference.
Yeah.
And I think convex holds a better edge.
Yeah, because
And-
there's a lot more steel behind the apex.
Yeah.
But because we love convex and we love Scandi, we choose to go for something right in the middle, and that is Scandivex
Yeah, Scandivex favorite grind.
by far.
But just don't worry about sharpening. Just buy yourself a Mora and try out sharpening.
Yeah, yeah.
Just go and practice.
I started my knife adventure with the Fogneven F1 but then 3G steel, which is considered to be a very good steel. But I didn't know how to sharpen a knife yet, so I learned to sharpen on that knife, and I had to sell that knife because there wasn't much left of it.
And I have this knife. It's a little bit over €150. It is €160. But what is amazing about this knife, about this Lion Steel M4 knife, is that this is one of the most premium knife steels that you can get in in production knives at this moment. This is M390. Even it has a little bit better edge retention than Elmax, but it is kind of hard to sharpen. So this is not a knife you would buy as your first knife, in my opinion.
No.
And again, this one is wood, and the wood is this is Coca-Cola wood. It's a bit softer wood. So before you buy your knife, ask yourself, what am I going to use it for? Because you have this in G10, excellent handle material, and this is just looking lovely. And of course, if you're gonna buy a knife to put in a glass case, you don't need to worry about how hard it is to sharpen as well.
No.
But for us, that is kind of weird, buying a knife to put in a glass case, I think.
Yeah.
Nothing against it, but I would never do it. I like to know what my knife is all about.
And again, what did you do? You gave this knife a micro convex.
Yeah, a secondary convex. Because this knife came with a secondary V-edge. A lot of knife makers give their knife a secondary V-edge, and that is because it's just a bit more easy to sharpen for people who just start sharpening.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot faster to finish for the knife maker.
Yeah.
So he can make more knives in the same amount of time than giving it this perfect looking
And it's
convex.
It's amazing. You can find a lot of videos about it on YouTube about people covering the analytics of a V-edge compared to a convex, and that's just about 30 or more % more steel behind the apex on a convex than on a V-edge. So please take your time to figure out what type of edge you need to sharpen your knife with, which fits your needs.
Yeah, and about a V-edge, it has more friction with wood, so it's a little bit harder to carve. It's a little bit harder to make feather sticks with a V-edge.
Yeah.
Than with a, let's say, a convex or a secondary convex even, or full convex.
Because often the
shoulders.
Yeah. Well, lower.
Let's crank up the price range even more.
200, like 200 plus. Well, but not completely like infinity, but just 200, 250.
Yeah, around
200 and 300, yeah? Between the 200 and 300.
Whoa. Alright, between 200 and 300 euros, that's pretty big price range, and it also depends on where you live, because some of these knives might actually be cheaper in the USA, and some of these knives might actually be cheaper in Europe. So in the 200 euro price range, you're gonna find some different knives. You're gonna find some super steels. You're gonna find some knives with a really unique design. And as an example, I have this steel wheel gecko, and it's just an N690 CO, so not a very exciting steel, but a very decent steel. And they gave it a very good heat treatment. But in this 200 euro price range, you're gonna find these kind of unique looking knives. So if that's your thing, it might be a reason to buy a knife like this.
But don't forget that the steel that this one uses, you've also got an Enzo in that steel.
Yeah, for about 100 euros less.
Yeah, so that's
a unique design can make a difference for some people, of course.
Yeah, so that's the choice you need to make. But for us, what is your personal choice?
In my opinion, I always would prefer price, quality in a steel.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy to have the steel wheel.
Yeah. Don't call me a whore. If you go 200 plus, in America, I don't know if you can get it for less than 200, but it's a lot cheaper in America than it is in Europe. But I absolutely love Bog River.
Yeah, Bog River, let's take out some Bog Rivers.
We won't show you all the Bog River because we have a whole knife collection video, so we're just gonna show you our favorite knives, so not everything, because look, I have
CPM
3V, but for instance, I got another knife, a CPM 3V, which is basically exactly the same, but different ergonomic features.
But within this price range of Bog River, you have a variety of steels, CPM 3V, LMAX, and A2. And of course you also have S30V, but we don't really have experience with that on the Bog River part, so we can't really talk about that. So let's talk about A2, CPM 3V and LMAX. So first of all, I would like to make a recommendation, and people always, don't get me wrong, A2 is a very decent steel, but in my opinion it's not a decent steel for a 200 euro knife.
No.
It is a good steel, very easy to sharpen, but for that $30, €30 more or less, or more in this case, CPM 3V is just superior in all ways. So I would always go for the CPM 3V.
Yeah, and I would advise a lot of people to do it, or to check it out for themselves. We found out that A2 compared to CPM 3V for the price is a lesser steel, because for €30 more we can get a CPM 3V.
Yeah. And then you have, of course, LMAX, pretty new steel from Bog River, completely stainless. So with the CPM 3V you have the extra toughness, extra impact resistance, and with LMAX you have that little bit extra edge retention and the stainless, feature of the knife, which is really nice to have in a very humid environment.
But then maybe I'm hearing people ask, well, wait, can I have that? Oh. Like, wait, but why would I want to buy an LMAX for €250 maybe, if I also can buy an LMAX for about €150? Well,
good point.
I'll answer that question. I don't know if people realize how ergonomically satisfying these handles from Bog River are. It's
amazing.
Like, it's I think it's quite normal to work with a knife and get quite some hot spots, but with somehow with Bog River that almost doesn't happen, or it doesn't.
And customizable with over over 100 different types of handle materials. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
that's like a completely custom.
But but that's the whole thing. That's what I like about Bug River. And if I might give a piece of advice, if you're looking for a Bug River knife and you want to buy one, buy one with liners.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care what, but it makes the handle a little bit thicker, which is very pleasing in the hand, very much.
And maybe some other thing that might be important to talk about with Bug River is you can get a lot of these knives with or without jimpings.
Yeah.
And our personal preference is without the jimpings, because I like to have my finger here or this finger here, whatever. But the jimpings, they could be a little bit in the way. But for some people on the internet, I have read about many people who really like it because it gives you a little bit extra grip for your thumb.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, these jimpings are most of the time a little bit too aggressive, and with Bug River, most of the times they are protruding from the handle. So
I think it's very annoying for me because that's exactly the place I place my thumb.
Yeah,
so
for me as well.
Where I want to place my thumb is exactly where the jimping is. So
you would have to hold it like this instead of this.
Yeah, very annoying. So, but no problem, because my one of my knives, or the Enzo, these Bug River with Elmex, they used to have these jimpings, but we just got rid of them ourselves. So it never is a problem.
Right. So let's crank up the price to. Up to 500 euros.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I only have one.
This is it.
But to be honest, I only have one knife that is up there. I think.
Well, we only have one type of knife, of course.
Yeah.
And I think. Oh,
that's the Falkniven Pro series.
That was the regular one.
Oh,
almost had to puke.
But these are the Falkniven Pro series. Yeah. They're quite expensive, but for a very, very good steel, the COS steel. Yeah. And you can look up these specs, but it's got a high cobalt ratio in the steel, which lets the knife harden up a little bit more without getting any negative effects.
And yeah, look at this nice mirror we gave it. But yeah, overall, Bug River or Falkniven makes excellent survival knives, and these are just these COS knives just take an amazing edge for how thick they are. Amazingly sharp, very easy to sharpen, but to compare with a steel like Elmex or CPM3V, it has a little bit less edge retention.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of the only steels that is in this premium range, which is also suitable for more beginners.
Yeah.
With sharpening, because it is still very easy to sharpen.
Yeah. But to be honest, if you're a beginner, I don't know if you should be buying a knife that is 300 plus euros.
Of course, a little bit of this price is prestige. So you get a little case with it, you get a sharpening stone with it. So you pay a little bit extra for a knife like this, and of course performance and price never rise in the same amount.
No.
So you pay a lot more for a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that is also the case with this Falknivens. They are incredibly good in my opinion. I really love it, but yeah, of course the price is very, very high.
But what I do find a very, very big upgrade compared to the normal Falknivens is of course the steel, and they've got a little iron, how do you call that? Finger guard.
Yeah.
Which is very, very handy because yeah, you used to be baton and then the wood will come on and damage your hand or whatever.
Yeah.
And now that is not the case anymore.
A COS, maybe one of the best forged steels
out there
on the planet.
On the planet, oh my god. So, but this, I hope we could help you guys and girls, yeah. Because Bushcraft Survivor isn't only for guys, please.
No, of course.
Yeah. Don't hate me for it.
And if you have any questions, or yeah, if you have any questions about anything else, or you have questions about another knife that we have to look at or something, just ask.
Yeah. And these are of course not, if this is your first video of us, these are not all our knives. We did a big knife collection video. Which
it might help you choose your knife if you want to pick a knife. We have a huge knife collection video, which also helped some other people, I think, to to check out which knives are actually existing in this world.
By the way, one very big thing, if you just want to start bushcraft or survival and you're looking for a knife, please don't buy a folding knife. Please don't buy a folder. I mean, a folder is nice, and I understand why people really like them.
It's great for EDC.
Yeah, but please don't buy it for bushcraft or survival, because you need to baton a lot, and you really don't want an expensive knife like that to break on you. If it would, but just a fixed blade is safer. And yeah, so that's what would be my recommendation. Even though they use very fancy steels, though. Can't wait for a lot of those steels to come to fixed blades, but please watch out. Anyway, I think this was the end of our video. I hope we could help you a little bit with your choice. Like, thank you for watching, subscribe, see you later. Every Tuesday and Thursday we upload new videos.
Yeah, and I don't like SC knives.